Yeah, bro. So, since he was a producer and all that stuff, still active producer, bro. My question is, actually, it's an argument from last week, bro. What is the best pure hyphy album to come out today, bro, and why?
The Team first album.
The Team's first album?
Yeah.
Which, if you can rank top 5, what would you rank them and why?
Well, if we talking about in the hyphy era?
Hyphy era, the best hyphy.
You know what? Let me change that. I don't think there ever was a such thing as the best hyphy album. I think it was about the artist in hyphy. Well, I just remember Fab would come out and then you'd hear 10 projects sound like the project he did.
Well, that's why it was an argument, because a lot of people are going to go with their heart and say what they feel, you know. But I was asking a real pure question: what was the most best album? Which causes a lot of confusion during the era because niggas wasn't too many albums.
Well, folks are gonna be mad. It's either that 40 album that Little John pretty much produced, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's up there.
That first Team album or that first Federation album. It ain't no other conversation for me.
Bro.
It is not no other conversation. It's a lot of good songs and groups, and it's songs I like better than everything on these projects I named.
Yeah.
But as far as impact, it's those 3.
I rank it like this. 1, Federation. I would rank it number 1, Federation, because why?
It was on the radio.
It was a solid album. It was like one of the first real solid national hyphy albums. The sound was really big.
I got a fun fact about that Federation album. That's gonna blow you away.
What?
One of my folks that I was rapping out, you know that a lot of those songs we heard that blew up on Federation, I heard on beat tapes in different studios across the country. Like them folks didn't even do the song.
Okay.
Wild. I never heard nobody else's songs like that. I don't know if it's because Rick Rock was on his campaign then, because that's when he was doing the Jay-Z shit and the state property shit and all that. But I remember hearing them Federation instrumentals. I was like, what the fuck?
Really stopping those around.
No, I don't think anybody got them. If they did, the projects never came out. I just remember hearing them.
Well, that makes sense for why the Federation had the money. Or I don't know. I think he filmed them beats and shit.
Let's get a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
After hyphy, to me, Rick Rock was supposed to be the biggest producer in California.
Bro, he's still my favorite. And
he was supposed to be the biggest after hyphy.
I don't know, bro. I am surpassed him as far as production, and you know what I mean. And like, if you want to say after hyphy, because I Am Sue ran after. Post hyphy, it was all I Am Sue.
That's why I think it should have been Rick Rock, man, because he could do those beats right now, and his arrangement was so advanced and so technical, it could work now. The only thing that would happen is the drum pattern might change a little because the rhythm different now. But those sounds and everything, oh nah, man.
on the way to work today, I had to run the album. I was like, bro, these songs, and I'm like, bro, I'll fuck my age. These songs today, if they were released like we ain't never heard them before, would be hits today.
Right now. And Rick, actually, we on Rick Rock. He one of my favorites ever because his sound, he never sounded like nobody. But at the same time, his shit always sounded familiar. Yeah. It was weird.
But check this out. Check this out. It was an era of hyphy. Everybody was making hyphy music, but no one could sound like Rick Rock.
No.
You know what I mean? No. That's what I'm saying. The Federation, love them or hate them, they had the best one because one, it was the biggest commercial hyphy album. It had the most hits. It was in commercials. It was in movies. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'll say number 2 would be My Ghetto Report Card because it did have just as much. It had just as much commercial hits. You know what I mean? With the commercials and the movies, and actually the same movies that the Federation was in.
Yep.
So they were like neck and neck, but I'm gonna go to the Federation because I like Rick Rock's beats that much better.
I'm not, man. It's either or. I would say Federation more so because I know locally that shit had impact. That thing was I remember they were out for hell long until we figured out they was from Fairfield.
When you say like the Federation, they actually made the anthems of the era.
No, they did. That's why I like the Team so much because they had anthems.
They did have anthems.
But after that, well, this is something deeper. The best artist to come out of hyphy is Fab.
Yes.
But he ain't got the best project. That's crazy.
That's right.
But he had like the most influence.
No, but the Son of a Pimp though. I mean, was it
for some people that is the best project.
Son of a
For
Pimp
some people
is hard.
it is.
It's
For some folks it is.
I had to run it back. I was like, oh, there's a handful of these that are just classics.
But what fucked Fab was some shit that had nothing to do with him really. KMEL shit.
What
the KMEL shit with Big Von.
Oh, yeah.
That's what fucked Fab up, because you got the biggest radio station in your region. He already writing records, doing shit. There's no reason why Fab shouldn't have been way bigger after hyphy was over.
Yeah.
Because even though he was a hyphy artist, Fab could rap, man. Fab could have rapped in any era. It don't matter. He would have been him no matter what.
He had niggas shook every time he went to the East Coast.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I remember. Fun fact about Mr. Fab. One of my partners knew his mom real good. Used to work with her. This was back in 2005, 6. Whenever year that was when he battled Royce the 5'9", we saw him the day or two before he went out there. Because he was talking about it. We was at the Signs Lounge in Berkeley. And he was talking about it. And I was thinking to myself, like, where's the 5'9" gonna kill this nigga? He can't have no. He fucked Royce's career up for a little bit. Slaughterhouse had to save his shit.
He can rap, but the East Coast niggas had no SIGs. They had no SIGs, and that's part of the rap battle, bro. Like, I'm clowning you too.
Well, they didn't have no SIGs, but they got fooled because Fab could rap. It wasn't just him just saying these bars that hit, and it was filler in between. He could rap.
Nigga can rap, but also it's a rap battle. He's clowning, nigga. Y'all ain't got no jokes.
Well, that battle specifically, I remember Royce didn't have no bars because he had pre-written bars about some other stuff. He didn't have nothing direct. He wasn't ready. And that's when I found out, ooh, all rappers can't freestyle. Because Fab didn't write none of that shit. With a 19X t-shirt.
Back on it, a good argument for best hyphy album would be Kick the Sneaks album that we released at the time.
That's super influential too.
Yeah, super influential. But I'm not gonna put it up there. But I hear a lot of arguments.
But I don't know though, because T-shirt and Nikes, because that's the precursor for all that stuff. That's the thing. That's why I have to look at this project a little different.
See, that's why it gets my respect, because it is one of the originals. Even though I say like, Dre, you know what I mean? Of course. But it's like, just because you did it first doesn't mean it's the best.
Well, Mac Dre didn't have a lot of songs I rocked with like that. That's not popular. He had 4 or 5 songs I really rocked with, but he wasn't the best hyphy artist to me. I knew the game on how the hyphy thing even happened. That didn't come from him. It did come from him, but it came from a multitude of other shit that was going on. Yeah. Nobody talk about G Parkway. That's kind of where hyphy came from. Because that's where G Parkway was a concentration of niggas from everywhere, especially Oakland and Frisco. That's exactly where hyphy really came from. If we want to be real, it came from G Parkway.
But at the same time, I feel like the embodiment of hyphy does come from Dre. Everybody is really just emulating him. You know what I mean? So you can't take that away from him. The soul of hyphy is literally amazing.
But a lot of that stuff that he pieced together to present that the folks came from them folks from G Parkway.
For sure, but like literally the Bay's personality.
But if you don't know that, exactly.
For sure. The Bay's personality is just you acting like Mac Dre.
Yeah.
Talking, walking, and all that just like him.
Yep, or 40.
It's harder to talk like 40. It's easier to talk like
40. But it was a time.
Yeah.
It was a time where I remember dudes with the little glasses and toothpick. I remember that for a while. It didn't blow up, so they couldn't do it like 40. But they tried to do it for a little bit.
Another argument for the homegrown. And you know how people would always try to die on the hill for their little favorites. They was talking about Hustler's project. I'm not gonna put it up there,
but I have some diehard things.
But yeah, that when I revisited that, I was like, yeah, this had me hyped. It had me hyped.
Hustler's very underrated.
He's very underrated, and those freestyle songs, that's what a lot of people didn't know. That nigga was just going off the top, nigga.
Well, the thing is, especially if you wasn't rapping around that era, you don't realize how raw dudes was walking around here.
Yeah.
The Jack Hustling dudes was dope. As far as that little conglomerate they had him hustle, that thing was all raw because they could rap. They could rap.
I'm getting ready for the argument that people want to have for the Jacket. And that's cool, but he wasn't a hyphy artist at all.
Hyphy was no, because he was on before that.
Yeah.
I knew who he was before that.
He was a real hit.
I mean, because even though 40 did all that shit in hyphy, he wasn't a hyphy artist. I never.
He did put out a hyphy album.
No, yeah, but I never looked at Keep the Sneak as a hyphy artist. I never looked at Fab as a hyphy artist. He just blew up during hyphy.
They both put out hyphy albums. The Jacket didn't put out a hyphy.
Now the A's, that was a hyphy group because they came out during hyphy, died before hyphy was over. Now, with certain folks you can call
groups,
hyphy folks or artists.
He was one of the greatest, but the package obviously.
Because Lil B.
Right, well,
Lil B.
Even before Lil B branched off, especially since it's my age range, bro, like, niggas was on the path, bro. Niggas was blasting that shit just because it sounded so gritty.
I remember.
Like it was made out of bathroom, bro.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because we was lightweight clowning it when it first came out. It was like, it sounded like, one of us made this beat.
It sounded like it was cheaply made and niggas liked that shit, bro.
That was the beginning of the vibes.
Yeah.
You know what? They don't get their credit. Between them and Lil B, that was the beginning of the vibe. When you was listening to a song just for a vibe. If it wasn't for them, I don't think it would be no Cali district. No, the Cali, what was that when they were doing the Dougie?
Oh yeah, no, the whole scene.
I don't think that wouldn't have happened.
No, the LA would have never had that whole scene.
Lil B and them made it cool to be different in a hard ass environment.
Made it cool, G. That skater clip.
Yeah, like I know folks that got guns in to shoot you, right. But we got purple hair and we dance too. It wouldn't be no Lil Uzi Vert without that.
Sure. I mean, a lot of shit wouldn't be like it is if it wasn't for Berkeley. That shit was really Berkeley, bro.
Yeah.
Shit was really Berkeley. And
it was, as a Berkeley High alum, it definitely was. Because Berkeley always been a place where you could be tough but still be yourself at the same time.
It's really a city of hippies. It's really a city of hippies, and I did.
And revolutionaries, because that's South Berkeley. It's all black folks as revolutionaries.
Hell yeah, man! It like the pack fully represented that city, bro. I'm really proud of what they've done.
Yep.
And what their contribution to the hip hop.
It gets overlooked though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm tired of saying that because there's so much shit that happens. Something gonna get overlooked.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm gonna get. I mean, it's not overlooked locally for me, not to me, because I can see how it connects. About how La Russell is here and all these artists and movements connect.
Yeah. You know what's sad though in this argument, in this conversation, you know who's not represented or never is represented?
You know what? Damn.
Nah.
Because I mean, they had Harm. They had some folks, kinda.
Not really though.
You know what kind
Shout out to Richmond. There's no hate to Richmond.
Why didn't Master P stay longer? Because I think the story would have been different.
Yeah.
If Master P stayed a little longer, the story would have been different.
He would have signed a lot more people from the Rich.
It'd have been different.
I don't know. Also, I think, when during that time, the Rich was funking with everybody.
Well, I told you, when I grew up, where I grew up, every time I went to Richmond, we had a fight. I didn't go to Richmond and have a good time peacefully till I was in my 30s.
Bro, high school.
It was a fight.
When I was at Beehive, they was funking with Richmond, bro, and it was bad.
That shit in Antioch right now. That's the whispers on the street is Richmond and Oakland kids.
Yeah.
And we don't even do that shit here, so y'all take it there.
Yeah.
And you claim in the street that sound hella crazy. I mean, that same street exists here. It got a whole different reputation than the one you talking. Somebody told me the name of the street. I thought they was talking about Sycamore, West Oakland. Like, yeah, I know where that is. Oh, you mean Antioch? Oh, shit. Yeah. Hella nice.
I don't know how them niggas moved there and just fucked all that shit up, bro. Sycamore is nice.
And it happened quick.
Quick.
Because they didn't start getting out there to what? Well, I started to notice folks getting out there like 2009. Bro, that was that next exodus. That was after the housing market got whooped. Yep.
I don't know how y'all thugging in them nice ass houses.
Well, the police used to come to the meetings that I used to go to when I worked and did street outreach because they didn't understand the crime anymore. Because they were used to dealing with the locals. They used to deal with norteños and all that stuff where people have colors and the gang structure and the hangout place, maybe a clubhouse.
So they trying to learn how to not racially profile people. Well, they don't know who they look for.
This was back in 2010, 11, they were at these meetings asking these questions. So it's been a long time. But Antioch got in the situation they were in because they didn't want to be Vallejo or Stockton. because property taxes is what ruined those two cities. Yeah. And Antioch didn't want to be a victim of property tax, but unfortunately, you opened up so many Section 8 vouchers. Now you got New Jack City in 3 different places.
That's what it was, bro. They couldn't get nobody to rent out there. That's what it was. I remember.
And they didn't want to get that property tax cut off, so let's open up some subsidies.
Right.
Because at least you're gonna get. If you open subsidies and they subsidize, let's say 30%, the tenant only is responsible for 30% of the rent, then you get 70% of your stuff subsidized, which is way different than zero. It was just a vacancy.
Whole hood and my cousins moved to Bay Point, bro. They had the biggest house in the family for a minute.
I remember when I worked at where I worked at. I'm not gonna say their name; they don't deserve the fame. And we had to drop some kid off after he got kicked out the shelter, and I heard 3 different folks say my name from 3 different neighborhoods, and 2 of them I for sure knew wasn't getting along at the time. And I said, "Oh, y'all trying to make low cash? Y'all think CB4 is real?" It works for me, and that's what it is now. And now it's spread because now Oakley got a spot like that. It's kind of like the street in Antioch.
No, Oakley snuck, bro.
Brentwood too.
Yo, I had a football camp in Oakley, Freedom, and that shit was nice as hell. Then when I started seeing them city niggas was out, shit up.
It looked like a destroying tape. Like they want to start doing runs on the football field.
Hey, but to end on a good note, bro, there's a lot of arguments because every city got to be represented. The city had 2 strong dudes, 2 strong ones in that era. There was Roach Gigs and Young Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I had to really think deep about that one because I'm like, damn, that big ass city, but you only had 2 real representatives in that category.
The city got a whole bunch of. I only know because I fuck with a lot of folks on the city like that. It's a whole bunch of talent in the city that folks don't even get to hear. For whatever reason.
They're oversaturated with talent. I used to go out there and record with some of my homies out to the Go-Getters. I used to go out there and record. Niggas was raw and hella artistic in the city. And they had hella shit to talk about because them niggas is outside all day.
Because my partner Crypto will bring in somebody to the studio you've never seen before in your life, didn't know what he could do, and all of a sudden he the best lyricist you ever heard.
I booked it Crypto for one of my shows, bro.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's raw. He ain't hyphy though.
No.
Yeah.
But he got a chapter.
Yeah.
With him and Andre Nicotina. That predates hype. He got a whole. He played a whole MF Doom side mission that nobody know about unless you know Andre Nicotina. He got hella songs in Andre Nicotina. They used to do tours up and down the West Coast. Like I remember when me and him first started getting cool, and I'm starting to see how certain people would interact with him from that. Not even knowing about the stuff I'm dealing with him on. They still stuck on Andre Nicotina shit. And he don't even talk about it. But that was, I tell him all the time, that was his MF Doom side mission. That was his MF Doom. And people never know.
Would you say San Quinn was a hyphy artist at that time or no? Or was he a big artist who made a hyphy song?
San Quinn, I knew who he was already. That's the thing for me, it's different if I knew who you was already before the movement started. You just an artist that made hyphy music at the time. As opposed to coming out like that.
Would just be like a hyphy song? I don't know, because I remember going to his album.
Hell yeah, it wasn't really a hyphy song to me when I think about it. It was hyphy sound.
It was like,
but he was rapping.
He was teetering the line of what hyphy was. You know what
Especially around that time, Quinn was on fire.
This is why this is a good
Quinn was on fire too around that time.
This is why it's a good conversation, because there was a shitload of hyphy artists, but they didn't have albums.
Well, we had a lot of mob music folks making hyphy albums like this. Messy Marv is a mob artist.
Yeah,
he do mob music.
He do mob music.
But he was doing songs during hyphy time that was getting played. No, it wasn't getting marketed like that. No, but to me, Quinn is kind of in that box too, where he more of a mob music maker.
And that's why I didn't bring up San Quinn, because I'm like, you know what? He wasn't really. I know who was making hyphy music, and that wasn't it.
No, he wasn't doing what them other guys was doing.
No.
Because folks that was making straight up hyphy music, it was real dumbed down, the lyric part.
Yeah, sure. And the BPM was like 140, you know what I mean?
And the folks that I listened to that started rapping before hyphy, they never dumbed down their lyrics. They kept the lyrics still at the same level. The hook was just dumber.
Look, and rap does it. It's hard to rap fast when the BPM is so high. You have to get straight to the point, and it has to be witty, but really short and straight to the point. You can't really get off a bar. It has to just sound cool.
Well, you can now, because after hyphy, that's when folks started moving more so production into trap, to where you double time everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm double timing everything, I can just do a trap flow on a fast beat, and I can fit the same shit there. I just do halftime, and it's gonna come off like I'm going fast, but I'm not. I'm doing double time.
Like, I Am Sue really
got. But I hear what you're saying.
I Am Sue got no bars off, but he dropped it a little. He dropped that BPM just a little under hyphy. That's why it wasn't hyphy.
But he doesn't do things. He doesn't do a lot of multi-syllabic rhyming though either.
No, but it was a bar up from what it was.
No, yeah. But if you're a person,
it was a bit slower.
But I'm not gonna say now, but he was in that space where he rapped to the beat. If you were a rap to the beat rapper, it was tough for you to fit them lyrics in. Yeah. If you were a rapper that dealt with pockets like 40 or somebody as opposed to just the beat, 40, then you could do whatever you want to on there.
Like during the hyphy era, 40 was only one of them.
That's because he was doing, 40 was on the first. 40 was probably the first Bay Area artist that I saw that was rapping like that did pockets and flow. Mm-hmm. Other than that, most of our artists just had one flow. And they weren't doing no pockets. That's why I loved Yuck Mouth when Godzilla came out, because he was doing pockets. He was rapping. Godzilla is probably the highest level lyrical album to come out from the Bay Area, period. You can include all that hieroglyphic shit if you want to, because it was a street element to it. Street element with real lyrics, you get more props to me. You got to get more props to me. Right. You got to.
To end it, what's your top 3, bro? Now that the conversation's over.
Top 3 hyphy albums? Yeah. I don't have any. It's just, to me, it's just about the artist. It's the artist. It's not the album. It's the artist, because we all got songs. Right when we had this conversation, I'm thinking about all these other songs. Like, I'm gonna die if that ain't out. Like what?
They ain't got no album.
But I'm not going there for lyrics.
Yeah. So that's going to have to be another conversation of like top 10 hyphy songs. Because there's plenty of people that didn't even have albums.